Both the Bowling Green Police and Fire Department utilize K-9s in the field. Both departments have trained handlers and K-9s that work together to keep our community safe. In this episode of Spotlight on Bowling Green, we'll learn more about both fire and police K-9 dogs and what they do on a daily basis.
My dog's name is Max, and he's a very social dog. He's kind of unique in the sense that a lot of dogs, because of the training they go through, they're not very social dogs. It's not that they're inherently mean or anything, but just because there's a patrol aspect, the aggression, the apprehension work, the dogs are not very social usually. My dog's unique in the sense that he is pretty social. He's pretty friendly in that way. I don't have to worry about him so much being around people. However, it's not a practice that I let him socialize with people. But with my family at home, he's fine. When he gets home, he kind of knows he can just be kind of a dog. Well, at the time, I'd been a police officer for about 16 years, and I've worked in other agencies before. Worked here for about 8 years, and just thought when the opportunity came up that it'd be a nice change, something different. Who wouldn't like to having a dog ride with you all day long, and gives me the opportunity to basically be involved in some other aspects of what other officers are doing also.
My K-9's named Millie. She is a 2.5-year-old black Labrador retriever. She is, when it comes to home and anywhere outside of work, she is as playful as any other 2.5-year-old dog. She her favorite toy is a tennis ball. Out of everything, she loves playing with a tennis ball. At home, she is like any other pet. She lays around the house, she plays with the kids, she sleeps in the bed with me. She's just like any other pet you would have. And that's something that's unique to her compared to a lot of other working dogs, is the fact that she can be a pet. You can pet her, you can play with her. There's no restrictions on not being able to pet her or play with her. Some of your other working dogs have that restriction for other reasons, but not her, and that's pretty unique to her. The only rule to her as a working dog is you cannot feed her, so you can't give her treats or table scraps, because that's how she works. She's got to find somewhere to eat, so if you feed her, you're going to hinder that. I'm a fire investigator here at the Bowling Green Fire Department, and in my training, I've been to several different trainings where they had a K-9 come and demonstrate what they could do. And it always interested me, and I always just thought that was really neat to watch. So when I had the opportunity to come available here to get my own K-9 unit, it just seemed like the perfect match for me, between my love for animals and my love for dogs, and then the love for my job and what I do. To be able to match them both together and do it just really interests me.
My K-9's name's Axel. He's a male, and at home he knows when it's work time and when it's time to stay home and relax. When I go outside and get him out of his kennel in my uniform, it's a straight shot to the car. He knows it's work time. And then when we're off, I'm in regular clothes, we'll go outside and he'll play and just interacts like a regular dog. Throughout my career, I've always been an active officer. I enjoy looking for drugs on the street. I enjoy looking for criminals who have acted in a criminal way and went out and made criminal decisions. That's something I've always enjoyed looking for. And I thought, what better way to have a partner to assist me and other units doing the same thing. I've always been intrigued by the skills that the dog has, and it's the value for using him with me and to assist other officers throughout the department and community.
The K-9s in both departments have been trained extensively before given to their handler. On top of that, each handler has to attend training where they have the opportunity to bond with their K-9 and learn skills for the field.
The dogs are initially trained when they come to us. They have extensive training since they're pups. However, when we get the dogs, we have usually a few days of bond with the dog, and then we go through like a 10 to 12 week training. It's Monday through Friday every day, and basically the handler and the dog go through everything together. During that time, there's a major bonding time, and also you get to learn your dog's habits. The dog gets to kind of learn, how you operate with it, and you kind of become a team together. We do other than what the other K-9 officer and I do here, along with some of the other area agency K-9 officers, sometimes we'll do training here in Bowling Green on our own. However, we're required to go down to Gallatin, Hendersonville area, and we do training down there twice a month. So we call that maintenance training, and it just kind of keeps the dog and the handler in tune with, you know, what we normally do on the street. Everything is done routinely, pretty much the same way all the time. So the dogs basically get to learn how to do things off of repetition, just as you know, any animal or a lot of what we do is, you know, in our job is it's all about repetition. So twice a month we go down there and just basically go through a maintenance training and keep the dogs in tune with, you know, what we're supposed to be doing out here in the street.
The first thing you do is obviously the trainer wants you to bond with your dog. That's a big factor, I think, in a K-9 team. Because if you and your dog aren't on the same page, you're not getting along, then it's going to be hard to go out and produce like you want to produce. So the first thing we did was, of course, the bond for a week or so, and we started doing vehicle searches with different narcotics, apprehension work, different agilities. You put the dog through different jumps, different crawls, and also tracking. Tracking is something that we spend a lot of time on just because it's something that plays a factor in our everyday work, and it's something that it takes a little bit longer for the dog to get adjusted to. We have two days a month. It's mandatory training. We go down to Tennessee. It's basically maintenance training. First Monday will be drug training, and then the second Monday will be patrol training, which is tracking, the agility work, building searches. And then, of course, me and several other K-9 officers here in town will train on our own a little bit.
Our training was put on by the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. It was held, the K-9 division is in Front Royal, Virginia, and that's where the dog and myself were trained. Millie, my dog, she was there approximately 2 to 3 months before I arrived, and did some initial training, mainly just recognizing the odors that she's going to start smelling. When then I arrived there, and we got introduced to each other, and our training was 6 weeks long. And when I say 6 weeks, it was 7 days a week for 6 weeks. Millie is a little bit different than a lot of your other working dogs in the fact that she is a food reward dog. Some of your other dogs are toy reward. With her being a food reward, she has to find an accelerant in order to be able to eat. She eats everything she eats out of my hand. So that's why it was a 7-day-a-week training, is she don't eat unless she finds accelerant. So she needs to eat every day, so she needs to work every day. But yeah, all our training was there in Front Royal, Virginia, put on by the ATF. Yeah, the training we do every day, I definitely build around different scenarios. I'm obviously wanting to make her better on the fire scene, so I build a lot of training around that, making her better on the fire scene. But I know what to expect in the recertification. I know what the tests are going to be as far as when I talk about cans, we put debris in these, looks like paint cans, and burn it and put a lid on it so she can't see it, she smells it. I know that's going to be one of my tests. So pretty regular, I will test her on those cans, and because I know that's coming up for research. But at the same time, her main job and priority is finding accelerants in fire scenes. So that's one of my big pushes, is to train her on that, because that's what she's going to see. That's her job.
The daily life of each K-9 and handler look different among individuals. They train and work hard every day. However, every dog and handler gets to take a rest when at home and enjoys being with their families.
Yes, he is. You know, at work, obviously, he's with me for my whole shift. If I work any, off-duty events, usually he's with me, unless it's a very long event. We're also on call, either Officer Joel or myself, or, take turns being on call. So, but as far as home, he's either in the kennel or with me. So yeah, he's with me, majority of the time. It's quite amazing what these dogs are capable of. They've proven themselves over time. When it comes to narcotics detection, their noses are about, from my understanding, about 800 times what a human nose can smell. So they're very unique and very, it's very amazing what they can do. The drive that they have. Like I said, as far as to them, it's a game in what we do out here. And it's just, it's been amazing to me to see the capability of these dogs and what they're, what they can do. So it's pretty neat.
Axel, he's with me every day, every hour I'm working, and then at home, he stays in my backyard. I've got a kennel for him, and that's he's part of the family. I can't really say what sets my K-9 apart from other working dogs. I know we have a good bond. We work good together. We've been together for 3 years now, almost 3 years, and it's something that I guess an outside person wouldn't really understand the bond between us until they have the same type of bond with the dog. No, I mean, it's a tremendous opportunity I've been able to have with the K-9 team and Axel, and we've enjoyed working together, and hopefully work together for many more years.
Typical day for me is just like it was before I had a K-9, as far as I've still got my typical job to do. On side of fire investigations, I also do inspections. So I've got to keep my inspections up, continue to work on that. I continue to work on fire investigation cases. So my job has not changed. I've just added more responsibility to my job. So our day consists of, when we get here, she V-lines up the stairs up here to the office to find a tennis ball. So we'll throw a tennis ball for 2 or 3 minutes, and then she'll kind of calm down a little bit, and then I'll get to work, checking my emails, doing all my work. Sometime during that day, I'll go and do training with her, wherever I choose to do it at that day. I do a lot of our training at Northside, at our training facility out there. We'll go out and do training throughout the day. In doing that, as I'm telling you about my day, I don't have a set time and schedule, and the reason is because we don't have a set time and schedule of when we have fires. So we don't want her to get used to, okay, I work and eat at this time of day every day, or I work and eat at this time of day. She needs to know, okay, any time during the day, it can be time to go out and work. So I don't have a set schedule of training at this time of this day. Here in the city of Bowling Green, every fire investigation, I'll be at every fire that we get called to, and she's with me everywhere I go. So yeah, she will be at every scene. Unless there is some sort of circumstances that keeps us from it, one being safety, whatever the nature may be, she will be ran on every scene, every fire scene that we work.
If you would like to learn more about this or any other Spotlight on Bowling Green program, please call 270-393-3642.